let's go by the idea that I'm going to introduce myself first, and I'm a home educating mum of 5 at home. Wow, still 5.
Yay, we five is a magic number. Yeah.
Try to get rid of them. Nobody wants to leave. Um, don't think they're old enough to leave. Still home educating everyone from the age of 14 to 6, and then we have a toddler in the mix, which is just so wow.
God and joy.
Enjoy.
Yeah,
I am enjoying it actually.
of course
Lexi,
you are.
do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself? How many kids you've got? How long you've been home edding?
Yes,
Where you
ma'am. So I'm Lexi. I have got, how many have I got? I got five as well. Um, how old are they? One's 21. She's in uni. Obviously she was home educated at, well, majority of her school life.
We'll talk about that.
I've got a 15-year-old, a 9-year-old, and 8-year-old twins who have all been home educated basically since birth. So nobody's ever been to school.
Ooh.
So yeah, that's my tribe.
I think we met at the Black Home Educators Conference, the London one, the first ever one.
Yes.
That
Gee,
was
where
big.
was that again, Rachel?
That was in Brixton, I think, when we met. It was held at a hall in
Gee,
Brixton.
that
And
was time ago.
yeah, then we ended up meeting again, like, and then the kids became pen pals,
Yes, exactly.
and then they've just been friends ever since. And
Ever
we
since, exactly. It was Narai and
Aisha,
Aisha from day dot, man.
and they still cause as much trouble as they
Yes,
at the
they cracked
moment.
me up.
Them too. The bouts of she's a
Yeah.
race and goes black. Like really? Come,
Yes, exactly. But I love it though. I love it. I love their friendship. It's so funny.
they are hilarious, and I think that's going to be a lifelong friendship. That one.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Absolutely.
The text messages are hilarious. You have to read them.
I've been told they and I'm like, but you can't say that. And she's like, but
Oh, yeah,
but she says this to me. And I'm like, oh my God. Y'all are joking, right? Yeah, she's like, yeah, it's nothing but love. It's nothing but
that's
love.
nothing but yeah. Because Aisha wanted me to drive. What did she want? She wanted me to drive to your neck of the woods for Narai's birthday. She was like, "Can I just go?" So yeah,
Oh
but
my days. I was told that she was going to take the train.
yeah, she did actually ask me to drive, and then she said, "But I'm old enough to take the train." I was like, "Dude, you're 14. Like that's miles away. And you don't even know where you're going." So no,
Oh my gosh. That's a trick though. It's a trick. So no,
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 ma'am.
no. Then she tried to convince another home ed family that lived between here and you that she could jump in their car. And I was like,
Oh my days. Oh, bless her. She really, yeah, we need to link them up, don't
I
we?
was like, do you know what it would do? Like one day when Auntie Lexi's going down south, we'll go down south and we'll just meet up, and I'm just going to give you to Auntie Lexi. And
Exactly. No problem. I mean, when you have five, what's one more mouth? It's fine.
exactly, I found that out last week.
Fine.
Like, no difference. Once you pass 4, like one extra is just like however.
It doesn't matter after that. I think after two, that's it. It's like, yeah, whatever, man.
Then does that equate to when you're home edding though? Is it the same thing? Like one extra?
Oh gosh, you know what? I always, well, before the boys were like, how can I put it? Each child is so different, and you think, okay, I can actually, because I've got twins, so I'm thinking, yeah, I'll just give them. Caillou does a different thing. Obviously, Nurai, I've just left her to you. The boys now, because they're like 19 months apart. So Caillou does his thing. But I was thinking, okay, so the twins, I can just keep them doing the same things. And I'm finding now that even they are very different and they learn at different speeds. So I'm thinking now when I'm doing my planning for this month and next month, I'm going to have to do different things for each child. So,
Exactly.
you know, when sometimes I hear when you're planning and you're doing this one, this and da 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 da, and I'm thinking, nah, they're twins. I could just do the same thing for both of them, and now realize that no, actually, every child needs their own, their own planning, their own their own little curriculum, basically.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
that was an awakening for me, because I was thinking, yeah, I'll just give those two, I'll just do everybody in one. But no, it really doesn't work like that, because children are they're so different, even though they're twins, each child is so different.
True. True. I can attest to that one. But what made you home ed? I know what made me home ed. What made you home ed?
All right. So it's something I always heard when I had my eldest daughter, home education wasn't really the thing to do, basically. But I heard a few people who had done it, and I was more initially I was very attracted to the prospect of not having to do the school run
Yeah.
and being able to be free and to be doing what I want to do when I want to do it and how I want to do it. I love that. So when I had my eldest daughter, and I teach her at home. I mean, coming from a Caribbean background, we on that ABC 1, 2, 3 from day one. We're
Yeah.
doing our thing, we're trying to teach them, um, sent her to primary school. She was in reception, was bored. She didn't, she kind of sailed through it. Yeah, no problem, no issues. Year one, then I started to get the complaints from the teachers. Oh, she's finished her work quickly and she refuses to just sit on the carpet. She's disturbing the other children. I said to him, is there any way that you can actually just give her something a bit harder that can challenge her? He told me no, he can't do that, because it would be, what did he say? It would be unfair for her to put too much pressure on her. I said, okay. I even suggested, can you move her up then? Because she's already done all of this stuff.
Yeah.
So move her up, move her to year two then, if she's disrupting. Give her something. She just needs to be stimulated a bit more than what you guys are doing at the moment. No, was the answer again. So I thought to myself, you know what? It's now or never.
Yeah.
So I decided, yeah, we're gonna do this. You're coming out. And a lady who was really paramount in my decision and initially helping me through was a lady called Rahina. I don't know if you know her.
No.
At the time, she had two boys. They were way older. They were like 12 and 13 at the time. Rahina Pryor, her name was. And I was at an event, and I spoke to her, and then found out that she was a home educator. Oh my goodness. This lady just inspired me and empowered me and kept on inspiring and empowering me to, she just was a breath of fresh air. She kind of gave me the confidence to do it.
Mm.
Because imagine back then, we're talking what, 2007 yeah, about 2007. It wasn't really the done deal, not a lot of people, it was kind of like a scary prospect. So actually having and knowing somebody else who had done it, and her children were so successful, they were doing, I think her sons had finished their GCSEs at 12
Yeah.
and 13, and they were going on to do A levels. I think in the end, one of them finished uni at like 19. So I was like, wow,
It's
amazing. Like, you can actually do it early if they can do it. Yeah. So I think from then, um, we just went full speed ahead. And then she did so well. And then I had my second daughter, and then I thought, you know what? We're not doing this school thing. You're staying home. I just hated the fact that of putting the school system is just one great, it's just a box.
Yeah.
And if you don't fit, they'll make you fit. So they'll squash you and hammer you in to make sure you fit in this box.
And I think
And
that's actually getting worse.
yeah, so I'm hearing. Oh my goodness, so I'm hearing.
Yeah.
So I'm just so grateful that I did take her out. I mean, she did eventually go, my eldest did eventually go back in secondary school. Well, that's a whole nother story, but yeah.
That was her choice though, wasn't it?
Yeah, when she was a bit older, yes. That was
That's part of home ed though, isn't it? Because it was her choice.
yeah, but
Would have
I
been you.
think I hear, oh, my son and daughter, they want to go back to school.
Mhm.
And then they're like, okay, send them back to school. And I'm thinking, okay, good, it's their choice and stuff. But I look back and I'm thinking, should I have sent her back? Because that system was just crazy.
Yeah.
I do think back now in hindsight that boy, maybe I should have just ignored her and just, kept her home. But anyway, what's done is done.
That's done is
Um,
can't undo it
she,
now.
yeah, she's in uni, so she's good. So yeah, it wasn't that bad. So
Yeah, I remember that story. I remember that. So
so
I
what made you decide to home educate, Rachel?
think home ed's always been in my blood. It's always been a thing that was I was exposed to it early, like ages,
Mhm.
long time, because we were very much on that home ed track as a family because I was raised by hippies, man.
Yeah.
I was virtually raised by hippies. So, and that West Indian thing of it was one of those things where I think my parents had seen it gone very wrong with my brother.
Okay.
Decided that I ain't doing that again,
Yeah.
and then didn't want to do it again, so opted not to do it again. But that was an accelerating path because I did what prior sons did, and we went early and did everything early.
Hmm.
Now looking back on that in retrospect, it's quite funny because only I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago, um, someone said something to me like, "Oh, do you remember when such and such happened in '82?" And I sort of went, "I wasn't born in '82."
I keep saying forgetting that you actually are such a babe. Anyway, you're not a baby, but you're so young.
MA and PhD together. So how the hell are you not born in '82? Like
Exactly. Like what?
78, baby. And they were like, "No, you're joking, right?" So I pulled out my driving license and actually she literally just, her whole face just sort of dropped. She's like, "What the
Exactly.
hell? Like,
Exactly.
what the hell? What is going on here?" I was like, "Yeah, I've always been years younger than you now. I just haven't said anything."
You haven't said exactly.
I said,
Exactly.
"No, there's no need for me to out myself."
Like I'm the younger here.
Until
Oh,
necessary. And I think I did waver on Madam going to school in the beginning. I did consider it.
mm-hmm.
And I was lucky enough that the schools back then, when she's 14 now, so they did that thing called the open day,
Yeah, yeah,
where you could leave the child for like 2 hours and find out how they would fare in school. But being from that West Indian background, she was already reading when she was
yep,
4.
yep, yep.
And she'd been reading for a while. So she
Mm-hmm.
went to school, and that was like the one time she went. And I said, "Okay, so that could be something we could try." And
Yeah.
she went, and I said, "So what did you learn?" And she went, "I learned that 4-year-olds are thick." I went, "Repeat that."
Right, Dave.
I learned that 4-year-olds are actually really stupid. These people are
Oh,
teaching them their alphabet. I ain't going there. And then it was a battle. It's always been a battle with her dad since then, from that day.
okay, yes, yep,
I
yep,
think
yep.
he's always had that mentality that the best days of his life were in school.
Yep, and they won't make any memories. They won't have any friends.
Friends. And these
Oh,
guys have friendships. I think these guys' friendships are not surface level.
yep.
Like
And
watching
they're like long term, like yeah,
long-term relationships. Like she's had a group of friends, including your madam, since she was about 4, 5.
exactly, exactly.
And to get them off the phone to each
Yep,
other,
yep,
hard.
yep.
It's hard. And I've got lifelong friends from when I was 4 or 5 years old. So
Yep,
them sort of friendships you don't find really.
yep. You will, yeah, it's so nice when you find your tribe and you find your tribe early.
Yeah.
It is such a blessing. And of course I think society kind of puts it in your head like home educated children, they're gonna be awkward, they won't have any friends, and they're not gonna know how to socialize.
Yes.
Oh,
But
I
then
hate
see, immediately.
the whole word socialize just triggers me. Anyway, because that's the first thing when you say, "Oh, I home educate." Oh, so how do you socialize? I mean, I don't have puppies, I don't have dogs. Well, I have a dog, but you know what I mean. It's not a puppy socialization thing where they're gonna be aggressive if they are not around other puppies or other children. I mean, they are not kept in the house 24/7. They go and they mix with other children, they mix with older children, they mix with younger children, they mix with adults, they mix with teenagers, they mix with the elderly. I mean, these children get I think that their social skills are actually so on point
Yeah.
because they're
Yeah.
mixed. They have to talk to everybody. When we're out, all the children are at school, who are they talking to?
Everybody. Everybody.
You know what I mean? And I always get, oh my God, your children are so polite. Your children are so well mannered. They speak so well. Like, yeah, they're meant to.
Actually speak. It's not a parrot fashion. They actually speak. And they know stuff. Like, wow, your kids really know their stuff.
Hmm.
But the really weirdest thing I've ever heard is your child really knows herself.
Hmm. They're
And
all proud of themselves, aren't they? They're so sure of themselves.
and sometimes you think, should I resort back to the West Indian lesson and just clap you? But because you are too sure of yourself.
Yep, yeah, they're so outspoken. Like, this is me, and you
And
go take me or you leave me, but this is me.
and if you leave me, I'm not really gonna cry about it.
Exactly, I'll be fine. Just the way how you found me, I'll be fine.
It will go on. All right. So, madam, major accomplishments in your home ed journey.
Okay.
Major accomplishments.
I think for me, I don't know how it is for you,
Yeah.
but learning to read.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, girls definitely learn quicker than boys. I don't know if it's the same in your house. In my house, girls definitely learn quicker than boys. Um, so for me, my boys had especially my first son, he had his speech was quite slow to come in. So he had a speech delay. So my worry was, okay, he's not going to be very quick in reading. He might have issues with him actually learning to read and all of this stuff. So that was a concern for me.
Yeah.
But I kind of left them. Like coming from a Caribbean household, it's like I remember growing up, it's like you go to school and from 2 years old you're in school and it's A, B, C, da, 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 and they just hammer it in, hammer it in, hammer it in. And then me growing up in my experience and talking to other people and just getting some wisdom from all aspects, and then talking to a friend, and he was saying, you know what, the age of 7 seems to be that golden age where everything just starts to click.
Yeah.
And just leave them, let them play, let them explore through play and everything else, and it will come. So I was like,
It's
okay,
miraculous
I'm
when
gonna
it
try this.
it's miraculous when it does come though.
Say again.
It's miraculous when it does come.
Oh gosh. So I left him. I left Caillou, and he was reading by. It's like as soon as his birthday happened, boom, 7 years old. The next month my boy was reading.
Yeah.
and he's just taken off since then. And his speech had improved vastly as well. And yeah, on point. Twins, the same. One started reading a bit more, and you know this whole thing of oh my gosh, being judged because your child's not reading by a certain age.
Yeah.
Ah, my gosh, that's a whole nother podcast. But yeah, there's people who judge your children because they're not reaching their milestones that they think that children in school are reaching and all of this stuff. But anyway, so 7 years old, and then they started to take more interest in trying to read and trying to sound out the letters and stuff like that. And then for them, it was a bit later. I think one started to read at 7, and then the youngest twin started to read just after their 8th birthday.
You see,
So it's just,
be considered slow, wouldn't it? If they were in school, you would.
yes. So this is what it would be as well. Because I'm thinking if they were in the school system, they would probably have been told that they've got something wrong. They've got a learning difficulty or something. They probably would have had a label put on them
Yeah.
because they weren't hitting the school's milestones. They're doing, they're actually following their own personal milestones. And that's another problem with schools as well. Like,
But that's the scary thing, isn't it? And you
mhm,
differences even within two children that shared a womb,
yep, totally different.
totally different. But
Yep,
if in school you're expected to achieve these milestones at the
thank you.
same
Everybody has to be reading by this, and they have to be this and that. Because my son is 9, but he might not be at a year, was it year 4? Um, I don't
three.
even think he's at a year 4 level. He is at where he's at. You know what I mean? He understands what he understands. I try not to kind of put him in that box, like, oh my gosh, you should be in year 4, so you should be knowing this. Da, 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 da. Yeah, it's a lot of stress. It's a lot of stress.
Unnecessary stress.
Yeah, exactly. Because
But
they get there in the end.
I think major accomplishments here also, yeah, also learning to read, but then
Hmm.
sort of, I think it was realizing that my kids could survive anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, it was sort of, okay, we're going abroad. And they'd be like, yeah, I'm going to learn how to say, please, thank you, count to 10,
Mm-hmm.
learn how to change money,
Mm-hmm.
ask for emergency care,
Mm-hmm.
order my favorite sandwich. Those were literally the phrases and numbers and things that they wanted to learn.
Oh, bless.
And they were like, yeah, because those are the things that I need in case something happens. And
Happens, exactly.
everything else I could sort of fill in.
Yes.
I was like, okay, I understand now that I'm not raising children. And I think there was a home educator many years ago who said to me, you're not raising children. Don't think about them as raising children. You're raising viable adults.
True. True. Yep.
So every major milestone that you come to has been a milestone that's necessary for them to leave home eventually.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Because both girls did exams, they're doing exams early, right?
Yes,
They're
they've
doing
actually,
really
yeah.
well. And the whole thing is, if you looked at it in context, according to school, they should not be doing that.
Yep.
But
I have to remember that. Oh my gosh, she's not even meant to have done her exams yet.
exactly. So
Yes, true. Yeah.
it's the idea of even speaking to them, you don't think of them as children anymore, especially.
No. And funny you say that because when people, I don't know, it's probably the same with your young lady, but with mine, when people speak to her, they are surprised and very shocked that she's only 15.
Yeah, but that's been the case from since these guys were like 10, 11.
Yeah, because the way how they speak, the way how they carry themselves is not like an average
No.
14 and 15-year-old. No way.
And it's the idea of, I love the way they're able, I call them to, and everyone else actually, they're all chameleons. because they hide in plain sight.
Yeah,
Like,
yep,
you
yep.
don't really know that they're any different from any other teenager until you stop to have a conversation with them.
You know what? Because even Narai said one of her friends, I think it was at weightlifting, couldn't believe that she was actually home educated. Because obviously they've got this whole, obviously, yeah, home educated children, they're weird, and you'd be able to spot them out in public like
Yeah.
a giraffe in the wild, like, oh my God, it's a home educated child. Look at how weird they look. But they were quite shocked. They're like, oh, but you're like us, you're normal. And I'm thinking, what do you think home educated? Anyway,
What do you mean by normal?
what
That
do you mean by normal? Like,
like what is normal?
exactly, what is normal?
And then it's also the look that you get as a home educating mum, because
Mhm.
you don't essentially fit a stereotype anymore, because you're not wanting to get rid of your children.
Yeah, they're like, I can't do it.
You need a
I
break.
can't do I don't have the patience. Oh my God, I don't know how you do it. Half an hour with them and I just want to kill them. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh.
But
But
when
why
you
did
said
you
you
have
wanted to avoid,
children?
no, when you wanted to avoid school run, we call school run morning entertainment, which is
Yeah.
quite fun because we're triangulated between three schools in terms of where the house is. And you hear the parents going in the morning, get on your shoes. Why do you not have your bag? I'm going to be late. And then on the way back, it's even better. Like it's 3:30. You literally got that child back 10 minutes ago. And the
Mhm.
favorite one is, you're getting on my nerves. But you've only just
Yes,
gone.
yes. And I'm like, oh, have you seen all them people, all the parents moaning because it's only been a few days into the summer holiday and they
Yeah.
want the schools to reopen because
Yeah.
they can't stand their children being around. And I'm thinking, but this is prime time to kind of get to know your child, spend
Why?
some quality time, get to know your child's learning style. What are they love language? What is the love language?
No.
What's their favorite thing? What are they, this is great time to figure out and learn your child intimately. But they don't look at it like that. It's kind of like,
Why?
oh,
Children are something you
you're
can't give away.
inconvenienced right now. So
You're
the
stopping me.
children pick up on this, Rachel. You know what I mean? They must pick up on this.
But then that must automatically be like a lot of, because I've been dealing with a lot of cases recently with
Mm-hmm.
the advocacy group, and it's been a lot of like my child has special educational needs, and the school's not meeting their needs, and I'm like, okay, how does your child react when they come home? It's an outburst, like because your child's been trying to keep that in all day.
All day, exactly.
So imagine if I sent you into a domain where you didn't quite understand what was going on, but I made you stay there all day. What would you do when you got home? And they'd go, well, I'd kick off my shoes and I'd probably scream. So then
I'll cry. I would probably cry.
19
Exactly.
year old who's throwing tantrums, that is exactly what's happening. They're
Exactly.
going to get worse as that child gets older.
Exactly.
And I'm sort of like, mate, come on, come on. But then
Well,
I've seen, like, in accomplishments, you may have seen it in Madam, and I've definitely seen it in my Madam, and I've seen it in yours. Their opinions are always backed up with solid evidence.
oh my God, these children and the solid evidence thing.
And they reference the way we were taught to reference at university is how they reference the way they speak.
Reference very well as well. Oh my day.
And then you realize that nobody has had as much influence on these children as you have, so it's your fault.
Exactly. You can't even say nothing. What can
Exactly.
you say?
So like it's really funny because you do it also, and it's the way you speak to them. Like you speak to them as though they are tiny adults.
Yep. Yep, I do.
And I said, I think we were out um a couple of weeks ago prior to school breaking up.
Mm-hmm.
I said to James, well, can you not see, like, it's back to school around you and the kids haven't even actually left school yet?
Yep.
And I went, would you like to try school in September? And as clear as day, did my 7-year-old not turn around and say to me, which crime did I commit why you feel the need to send me to prison?
Oh my days.
What did you
Can you imagine?
say? I committed no crime.
Yeah,
Why?
so why you put him in because
I was
it
like,
is like prison though.
goodness. And then you
It is
realize the conversations that you're having with the older ones, the younger ones are gleaning information.
yes, they are listening. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm like, oh, I can't deal with you people today. I really cannot deal with you today. Please. But then
Yep.
you end up, your biggest achievement ends up being that you have a you end up as a home educating parent, if you choose to home educate, not that you're forced into it, if you choose to home educate, you have a higher threshold for your
Yep.
children's nonsense.
Exactly. Exactly.
So sometimes you just look at them and just go, yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Yeah.
It's totally up to you. If you feel that this is something that you need to protest about, go for it. But at the end of the day, realize my opinion is not going to change. Your opinion is not going to change. So we are going to have to compromise.
Compromise. Exactly. And that's so important in life.
And
It's
they do
such an
compromise.
important life lesson is compromise.
They compromise so well. And the idea that no, I have to say it all the time. No does not mean negotiate.
Yeah. Oh
No.
gosh, yeah. But if I do this, can I have that? And if I do this, can I do that? So, I think it's a good trade-off. If I do, and like the answer is still no, mate. Like,
No.
no,
I love
bless
it.
them.
I love them. I love them. Right. Who do you feel has supported you on your home ed journey? Do you feel supported? And if you do, by whom? And if you don't,
Um, I
why?
think from the beginning, like I was saying, from the beginning of my home ed journey, started with the wonderful Rahina.
Mm,
And then I've just been blessed to kind of meet a lot of really good home educators. Um, so when I was in London, there was, a few people who actually came up, and it's almost like, I would do the drop-offs, I would do the pickups. One person will be picking up, one person will be dropping off. I'll take the children today and you take the children next day. That kind of support was really, really, I really appreciated that. That was so needed and so blessed to have. Um, I think now that I'm here, when I've moved now to Wales, I know that you're one of the very few now that I have that are really a big support home ed.
mm,
This leg of the home ed journey.
yeah.
Um,
Essentially,
with
you're closing out.
Say again.
You're closing out in terms of home ed. Just think in a couple of years, you're done.
Well, yeah, because why does it go so quickly? I'm like, oh my goodness. Like two down and just like three more to go, and like in a few years, yeah, you're right. It's not much, not much left to do. So
Like 12, 13.
yeah, I would say I do feel supported, whether it's like physical, um, like people around me. I mean, there are people around. Obviously, I'm just starting to know them now. But yeah, there is a community down here of Black people who are home educating. We're small, but I
Mm,
think as we grow, I think there's people out there that don't know each other. So it's kind of like get like what I did in London, like get everybody together and then everybody can kind of form their groups and their friendships and stuff like that. I think that's what I'm really good at is getting people together, putting
yeah,
people together.
you're
Um,
the organizer, right? So.
Yeah, gosh, yeah, that came with its stress. But
Yeah.
yes, I do feel from the beginning of my home ed journey, up until now, yes, definitely very supported. Family, majority, yes. Friends are on board, yes.
Okay.
And other home educating families, absolutely.
But then do you feel that, I might ask you this later actually, but the support that you're getting, or the support
Hmm.
you've always had, and it doesn't, and I feel that with the home ed community, it doesn't need to be consistent. I think you just need
Hmm.
to find that core group of friends
Exactly.
that
Yep.
you can keep in contact with. And if something's getting on your nerves, you sort of just go, I need to talk to,
Hmm.
and they'll more than likely go, yeah, whatever, man, just leave it or deal with it and deal with it in your own time. Or they'll say to you, oh, let me help you out.
Yes.
And I find home editors are so much more likely to just go, yeah, like you've got something on and you need to go to, I think I've never felt more supported in terms of home ed until recent, I think really, really recently, actually.
Yeah.
I had a health scare this year, and
That's
like,
when you see your real
yeah,
people come out, isn't
that
it?
was the
Yep.
one. That was the one where I was picked up from the hospital by a home ed mom.
Hmm.
I was dropped off by a home ed mom. I
Great.
remember, I think Sally, the baby, when I went into labor, that's when I knew that my tribe was
Yes.
solid.
Good. See?
Because
See, they were there when you needed them, and that's amazing.
actually, I made 2 phone calls,
Yep.
and there was like, I'll take the girls. And then the other one said, I'll take the boys because I've got boys, and you take the girls because you've got girls. And then they were dropped off wherever they needed to be dropped off. And I remember actually having to argue with one of the mums to actually get my children back.
I love it.
Like, why are you stressing yourself to go on a alternative childcare? Someone will come to the hospital, will pick up your house keys, and we'll bring you what you need in the hospital.
Yep.
Get on with getting better. Just get better.
Exactly. Exactly. That's all you need to concentrate on. That is absolutely beautiful.
That's all you need to do is just
Yep.
get well. And I know that if I've got a doctor's appointment or whatever, I can just go, yeah, I need to go here. And then I know that my friends can turn around and go, I need to go here. Can you have my kids? And I'm like,
Exactly.
yeah, whatever. The main thing that you have to question is, do you have a car seat?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have a car seat? Um, and that's the way. And I've never seen that in, I'm going to say it and it sounds really bad, but I've never seen that in the Black community outside of the home ed community. I think the Black home ed community is what I would ideally like the whole West Indian community to be like.
To be like, but you know what? You're saying that. I'm thinking, I don't know if it's like, I'm sure you're gonna agree with me, but I found that my Black home ed community was more supportive and helpful and was there for me more than my own family.
Yeah, most 100%, 100%.
You know what I mean? These are people that you've met and you've, what I mean, at events, and what I mean, you've built up a friendship, and they will step in and be there for you when you need them, somebody to talk to, and need having the children, all of this stuff, and showing your children and yourself so much love and care and consideration.
Yeah,
And yeah, you got family members who don't even don't even know that what's going on in your life. It's absolutely amazing. It's wow.
oh, be on you, girl, fire. I remember the backlash. That was the backlash that I got. It was the backlash. And it wasn't even a backlash from people that see my kids consistently.
Exactly.
It was backlash from people that don't see you that often.
And don't care
They
either.
don't care. experiences that you're able to have with your kids due to home.
Oh my gosh.
Give me a couple.
Oh my gosh.
Don't run through your whole list.
Right, let's start from number. No, really. I think the biggest blessing to being able to home ed, especially when you've got multiple children. We got plenty children. So I think just watching them progress from baby to toddler and then a little one, and then as they get older and how they mature and how they learn, and just watching them progress and not missing out on anything.
Yeah.
I think that for me is like I was there. I'm the one who did it. I taught them, I potty trained, I taught them how to read, or I helped them to learn I facilitated their learning. And I look back at it sometimes and I'm like, my daughter's just done GCSEs and she's never been to school. Wow. Like, wow. She's actually got to that stage that she knew enough to pass a GCSE. I mean, yeah, I just think that's one of the, it's so great to have that kind of, to watch the progress.
Yeah.
And to actually be able to travel and watch them learn and learn alongside them as well.
I think that's been the biggest one for me.
Yeah, I mean, watching them learn and learning with them and going to and exploring different places. And when they're like, oh, Mom, where are we going this week? What can we do this week? What museum can we go to?
What I think home ed is a lie on the basis that the home bit is a lie.
No, yeah, we're not home a lot.
The mileage on your car says a different story.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
when you're spending more on fuel than you are on food.
Yeah, yep. It's always something to do. I mean, coming from London, there was stuff to do as it was.
Yeah.
And knowing Leeds is probably, it's bare
Yeah.
things, but down here, oh my gosh. There is so much going on. And if I go to each of these stuff, I will just be constantly at the petrol station and constantly at the supermarket and never home. That's how many stuff. It's too much, man. Too much. So you just have to pick, choose, and refuse.
Yeah.
I
think our biggest experiences have been international travel as well.
That's it. That's it.
And the fact that you can, as a single parent, be able to afford it.
Oh gosh, yeah, people are coming and asking, how did you afford to take all of the children away?
Because we don't.
Not that hard, because we're not going in peak season.
Buying cut price children.
Say again?
Cut price children.
Exactly.
I don't have to buy a uniform.
Nope.
I don't have to pay for school dinners.
Nope. Or ridiculously expensive school trips. Nope.
Yes. To cover other people to supervise children.
Mm-hmm.
When I can take you and we have the time of our lives, and those experiences you're not going to forget.
Never.
But they're also experiences that Mum and everyone else was involved in.
Exactly. Because imagine these school children, they go on these trips and their parents are nowhere around.
Yeah.
So they don't have that to share, and the parents don't have that experience. It's just like you're missing out, you know what I mean? But then again, a lot of these children, if the school didn't take them, then they wouldn't be going. So yeah.
That's that bit's scary. That bit's scary.
Yeah.
And it's I think a lot of my biggest experience is for my kids is like they don't rely on other people to do things for them.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's watching that light bulb go on every day. Watching people realize that yes, my shoes are on the wrong feet, and they will automatically feel the discomfort and change it.
Yes. And sort that out quick.
So like that feels wrong. And then they look down, that's wrong. And then switch them. or watching them help each other.
Yes.
And that's been fun, watching them help each other. I watch them fight, don't get me wrong. They're
Oh
not.
gosh, yeah. But when you
Yeah,
see
that's
them
right.
actually help, especially the elder one helping the younger one, yeah.
Yeah, but the elder one usually starts the problem.
Oh yeah, that too.
I watch Madam. She torments them kids.
Oh yeah, but it's a game. Same with my lot.
I'm not
They wind them up, wind them up. And I'm like, it's gonna backfire badly on you, you know, but carry on.
because it's toughening.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
Really, really, they're toughening them up. It's like, yeah, mum, it's a cruel world out there. Especially the boys, I'm just toughening them up. So at some point they're going to be someone's husband. I was like, oh Lord.
Oh my
Poor children.
days.
Yeah. Views that you had to contend with from family or community regarding your home ed journey.
Oh, I think we both agree on they should be in school. You
Which,
should, why are you doing that? You
yeah,
should be in school.
for me, that's a colonial thing, though.
Hmm.
And that
Absolutely.
oh, I think West Indian communities, Asian communities, they drank that Kool-Aid.
Listen, my mother has been a thorn in my side since my eldest daughter, took her out. Up to this day, even though she's seen all the achievements that the children have had,
Yeah,
she still says they should be in school.
yeah.
And I'm like, but what? You see what we do, you see where we go, you see what they've accomplished, but you're still telling me that they need to be in school. Okay, all right, cool.
I think for me, the oldest kid's father,
Mm-hmm.
and that's been a thorn in my side in terms of their academic journey. Because he can clearly see that these kids are thriving,
Mm-hmm.
but wants to make a point that doesn't need to be made.
Yep,
And the point
yep.
has no actual validity.
None whatsoever.
I've said, okay, fine, but I'm not doing school drop off and pick up. I won't be doing it because I'm
Exactly.
fighting to contend with nobody to go somewhere they don't want to go.
Exactly. But
So,
because it's the what is expected and what society says they must do,
yeah,
I guess it's hard. A lot of people find when you do things differently, they find it hard to accept because
yeah,
it's not the norm. And obviously, you know, what I mean, as human nature, we fear things we don't understand. Even though you could see that blatantly the results are great, but you still think that, oh my gosh, they're gonna be missing out on something. I mean, the only thing I would say that my children miss out from not going to school is probably down here, is probably learning Welsh. So
okay.
they'll still learn Welsh, but maybe at a slower rate than the children in school. But they ain't missing out on anything.
What, the bullying, the drugs, and the exposure to explicit material.
Oh God, been there, done that way.
I'm not, man.
Mm.
Yeah, but
No,
it's
thank you.
I don't know
No, thank you.
particularly one need to explore in
No.
any way, shape, or form. Right. But then the question is then, family's not on board, but we form our own communities anyway. Our community
Absolutely.
is solid. Because if you were to say to me, I need to go somewhere, emergency,
Yeah,
even if we're in different countries now, I would say to you, I'll find a way to get the kids.
exactly. And and the same here. It's like if something popped down where you are, trust me, I'm in my car and I'm coming to you.
Let's just find a way. We will find
It
a
will something would happen because, you know, I mean, it just,
it
you
has
know,
to happen. And
exactly.
it's not even it's not even a joke thing anymore, that it's like a difference. There's no difference and there's no indifference. It's that's the home ed community. And I think that's the word that people are missing.
Yes, it's
home education. Home education doesn't mean my children are isolated. My kids are part
exactly,
home ed community.
exactly.
But the
Group.
community,
Many.
question, do you think the community is changing?
I think one definite change is that it's definitely growing.
Yeah.
A lot of parents are now saying, giving two fingers to the school system and are taking their children out. Definitely. I'm just thinking, I mean, not just Black parents, but everybody is actually, since the pandemic, they're realizing that their children actually thrive outside of the classroom. But I think also within the Black community, we are now empowered and feel confident enough because I think we were the pioneers and we kind of set the stage for the younger parents now they've seen, and there's so much more out there. They have it so much easier than we do. The content that they have, like the curriculum, it's so rich.
It
The
is.
books, it's just like, I wish I had this when, I mean, my eldest was younger. I mean, they have a lot more to help them on their home ed journey now, and a lot more of them as
Yeah.
well. So yes, definitely found a change where that's concerned. There's so much more support for
And
home
what do you
educators
think it
now.
is in terms of how do you find it? Because you're working, yeah?
Yep.
Do you find that working element alongside your home ed journey? How does that work for you? How does that look for you? Let's put it that way.
Okay. So I'm self-employed, so I kind of set my own hours when I can work. So I travel, I'm mobile, so I will go out to my clients, and it's so much easier that way because I don't have set hours where I have to be in a particular place and sit there for 8 hours of the day and then come back home. Although I used to do that. Um, and I
That's right.
still home educated when I was working full time.
Exactly.
But that's another podcast. But yeah, but yes, it's easier because I'm flexible. I can arrange my clients, and I mean, when I go to Bristol for my clients, I'll bring them and they sit in the living room. I mean, my client, she's cool. They sit in the living room and, I mean, she's helping them to do their work. And they sat there with their workbooks, or they're doing reading eggs, and, they're just sitting there until I'm finished. And then we jump in the car and we drive back. I love it. I absolutely love it.
And
We
that's
we take we take our work, whatever we need to do, we go mobile. It's fine. You don't have to be sat in a classroom behind a desk to learn.
that thing, isn't it? I think when a lot of people envision home ed, they envision that kitchen table learning, and
Yep,
that's the only way it can be done.
exactly. Or recreate. Oh, we need to have these Americans. Oh, we need to have a school room. Let's recreate school at home.
How fun. Not really.
No,
Your kid is dying.
exactly.
The child is literally dying inside. And I think that's the reflection, isn't it? That a lot of people watch Hollywood and assume that all home editors are like that.
I mean, a lot more. These on TV nowadays, they have these families, reality shows, and these families, and a lot of them are American based.
Yes.
There's not much. There's nothing over here, is there?
Not really.
I'm just trying to think. I know in America they've got families and stuff that home educate. I mean, I follow plenty on Instagram,
Mm.
and they got this concept about homeschooling, so they properly try to make school at home. And I think the difference is over here, or we kind of, it's more home education,
Yeah.
where we try desperately not to create school at home, but then again, everybody's journey looks different,
Okay.
But
If you had to give some advice to new home educators or a new home educator, what would your top tips be?
Like what I just said, first one, don't recreate school at home.
Okay.
I would also say learn your child's learning style
Okay.
and their love language.
Yep.
Oh gosh, it's so much. Just be kind to yourself, because you're also on this learning journey as well, not just a child, but as a parent, you're also on this journey as well. So it's almost like give yourself some grace as well to make mistakes, and to be open to trying new things.
Okay.
Yeah, just yeah, I would just say be patient. I think you will learn some level of patience, but I think once you learn your child, then it will make your home ed journey so much easier. And just be open to trying new things and not be stuck in a one-way samey, because what works for one child will not necessarily work for your child. And even if you've got multiple children, they're all so different. So be prepared to kind of tweak things to suit each child.
Flexibility, 100%.
Yes, definitely.
You'll realize that you'll become a mental contortionist.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
And be prepared to put like 6 million miles on your car every year.
Yeah.
And
don't just be stuck in the house. I hate these home educators. Oh, I'm bored. The children are bored. Take them out. Like, don't be scared to just go out and explore. And as Black home educators, please get your children into nature.
And I think
please get your children into nature. They need it.
Yeah. And you find that a lot of people that I've witnessed, ethnic minority home educators, Black home educators, Muslim home educators, and they've eventually sent their children into nature or taken them to a forest or wherever, they automatically say that my child is a lot calmer. Like, yeah, just think about how we exist back home. Your child has been in the house.
No.
If your child was in the house, they came to eat. And that was probably about it.
I remember just running in to eat and drink water and jumping on my bicycle and I'm gone again.
Yeah, that was literally it. And your parents didn't know, they knew you were somewhere.
Yeah, and I've kind of recreated that down here. So like the boys will go out. Can we their friend will come and knock for them.
Yeah.
And they're like, yep, okay. We're going down, and I can hear them. The road is quite long where we live, and I can hear them playing at the way up the road, and I know that they're fine. They're all right. They're doing what they're meant to be doing. They're running up and down and playing football in the road, and they're cool. And I'm so glad that they've got that, rather than being in London and there's no space to run around.
And I think another thing I would say about that is be prepared that you're going to do a lot more washing.
Forget the washing, Rachel. The food. Can we discuss the food, please?
And then food.
Can we discuss the food?
When people say to you, oh, okay, like, oh, I can't afford summer holidays.
Thank you.
My whole house. I just look at them like, oh, but my kids are eating at my whole house all day, every day.
Every day, my children try to have 2 breakfasts.
Every day.
Yeah, 2 breakfasts.
one lunch and then two dinners. We have like Nathaniel. We say that feeding him is a waste of time because he's that skinny, right? That you feed him and he turns sideways and it looks like he disappeared. But you say, like, this is my thing. We call him six dinner Sid.
Wow.
Forever
And
eating.
still ain't full.
He's forever eating. And then he says to you, but I'm starving.
Oh dear.
I'm starving. I haven't
Yeah.
eaten. The other day he looked at his watch. He said, I haven't eaten in 45 minutes.
Wow. Yeah, sounds like mine. Yeah.
And I was like, wow, lovely. But that's why, like, having five and home edding means that a supermarket is no longer my friend.
You
I
know
can't
what?
go to a regular
It's all about the bulk buying now.
Exactly. And the fact that I get up early. So I'm up early. And then I have to end up cooking three meals before it hits 8 o'clock.
Wow,
And
Rachel,
I
you
just
gotta
get
be
it
getting
all.
up early. I'm so the opposite to you, you know
Yeah, we know. You're a night
that.
owl. I'm an early bird. I'm a real early bird because a lot of my work that I do, it needs to be silent.
Silence, yeah. So best thing is to get up early,
Get
get
it
it
done,
done.
get done so that when they're awake, I can be on it.
Exactly.
Not be worrying about things that I need to do later on. Do
That,
you have any other thoughts? Any other thoughts or advice that you'd give?
hmm.
I would like to let other parents know that they can do GCSEs later than 16.
Yeah.
It does not have to be done at 16. If your child is not ready when it gets to 16, do not panic.
Can we also tell them that their child don't even need to do GCSEs either?
Oh, you was in trouble now. Because you're
That
sitting here
their
with your
child can
Cambridge
actually
masters.
still get
And
into university without
I'm
GCSEs.
just going to out you. You're sitting here with your Cambridge masters and telling people they don't need GCSE.
I don't have a Cambridge master's. Maybe you do, but I don't.
Yeah.
My master's is from King's, darling.
Oh,
But no.
wow. Like that's any less prestigious. Um, right. Yeah. Like
No, but seriously, there's so much you don't have to. I mean,
I think a lot more of our children are the ones that go down into the entrepreneurial space.
a lot of them, and then there's also like the arts awards, and there's so many things like that that you can do that equals a GCSE. Like
Science,
you don't even have to do an art GCSE. You just do your arts award, and as you go up the levels, and it's like equal to an A level and equal to a diploma and all of this stuff. And it's like it's not really that information isn't really out there.
that
It's kind of
linear,
like say
that
again?
the linear nature of what schools have you think
Yes.
is not what it is because there's a plethora of other things, but they only send like a lot of people are only that sort of stuff is only advertised if they don't think you're going to get the GCSE.
Yeah, it's almost as if, yeah, okay, so you're not good enough to do GCSE, so okay, here's an alternative. Like, no, but the other things should be up there right alongside GCSEs. GCSEs is, as far as I'm concerned, that's a business.
GCSE is very I don't and sometimes it's also the idea that it's so standardized
Mm-hmm.
regurgitating information and a lot of our kids don't regurgitate information that way but even saying that home eders no matter where you fall on the spectrum of home ed our kids do so much better at standardized testing than me
Yes, they seem to get through it quite, you know,
because they look at it rather than it being a roadblock they look at it as a stepping stone.
yes. So what they want to achieve, they need to just achieve this. And I guess also that they don't have the pressure of being in a classroom and what I mean, the pressure and of having other people judging them if they haven't got the right grades, or I got A and you didn't get B an A, and you know, all of that kind of competition-y kind of vibe.
You get to our age, what does that A mean for you?
Well, that
Because
too.
a lot of those A students, and that's something that I've seen on Instagram a lot, like that recent poll thing that was going on. A lot of the people that are in the entrepreneurial space were not the A star students.
They didn't even, a lot of them don't have one GCSE to their name.
Exactly.
They don't. And they didn't need it to actually, I mean, to be quite honest with you, I was in Jamaica at the time, so I think I did five GCEs.
Yeah, you see, you're showing
It's not
missing a
even
whole letter.
again. Yeah, no, yeah, GCSE O levels, that's what it was called. Because
See,
obviously we would use CXE, but I decided I'm coming back to England, so I'm doing do O levels. And I didn't even get maths.
you see.
And then I was like, okay, I attempted to do math again when I came back over here because obviously you needed maths to get into um
Uni.
to uni, yes. And then did it again and still failed at math again. Me and math are just not friends. So I went on to do a access to science course at Birkbeck College in London.
Mm.
Did that, passed it, no problem. And based off of the results from my access to science, I managed to get into university.
You see, and like you don't have to go to uni at 18 either. You can go
No,
early, you can go late.
exactly. And I went late still,
It's
and then I went on to do a
like the other
master's.
end of the spectrum, isn't it? And I went early, but I
Yeah,
went early because I didn't want student debt.
fair enough. Yeah, that bloody, yeah, yeah,
That student loan business was not the one. It was not no. I'm
yeah,
not giving
yeah,
you nothing for nothing. No, I'm sorry. If you want me, fine. You can have me, but you're paying for it. I'm not paying for it. Honestly, if I did not get university paid for, I wouldn't have gone.
exactly, exactly. Yeah,
And
I think I just about managed to get in. I think when I finished, a year later, then it changed. I can't remember. Yeah, that changed pretty quick.
and then now it's just getting more and more and more expensive for what it just seems to be academic inflation for me. Like
You know
what
what? It's because everybody is pushing this whole, oh my gosh, you need to have a degree, you need to have a master's, and da 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 da. And these young people are coming and they're racking up all of this. They're coming out of uni with a bag of debts. I
yeah.
mean, this is, yeah. And then they go on and to do a master's degree. And then what's the caliber, the kind of jobs that they're doing? They're not even doing it in any of the degree or the masters that they did. It's something completely different.
I think
Like, well, what's the point?
it's funny that the academic inflation means that the things that you were doing with a master's now you could have done with GCSEs. They're like
Mhm. Exactly.
they're asking for experience, and these kids don't have any experience
Oh,
because they can't find a job that will give them any experience to start with.
exactly.
Oh, look, I'm going to be interrupted now. My loud person is coming. Here we go. Look, listen. They turned off your bluey. Those disgraceful people.
Oh dear.
They turned off her bluey. How dare they?
That's not good.
They didn't let you watch Bluey. I think all of my podcasts are going to be accented by this particular child.
Oh my days.
And the whole thing is because her siblings are at home, and then it's the case of if it was the case that I had to go back to work and she was in nursery, for instance, she'd be in nursery with other 18-month-old toddlers.
Mm-hmm.
She would not talk as much as she currently does.
Nope. She
And
wouldn't be doing a lot of what she's doing now.
realized that was the case because now thinking back on it, what I thought was speech delay with Nathaniel was not actually speech delay. It was the fact that I chose to send him to a nursery.
Mm.
And that's not something I'd ever do again because he went to nursery and you think in a room of about 10 or 12 toddlers, there's only 2 adults.
Yes, that's true.
They're
That's
not
very
really
true.
having conversations with those toddlers. They're there to make sure those toddlers are surviving, not
True.
thriving, surviving
The
by the time
fact that
parents return from work.
basic care. Yep.
So you may have a clean nappy and a washed face, but you're not being stimulated mentally.
Yes.
One, her chair is at, she's got a chair at my desk. So she says,
Whoa.
I'm going to be teaching now. And I'm like, you're teaching who what?
Her brothers.
What are you teaching?
Oh my God, I love her.
Teaching now. And she sits at my computer and she knows which pen is my board pen for the magnetic board. She knows which one's for my computer pen. And she goes, oh, your mouse. And then she runs off with it. She goes, haha, mine.
Oh, bless. See?
And all of that sort of stuff is her learning. All sorts. I didn't know that my now 6-year-old could cook rice.
Oh, wow.
He's like, I've made the rice. Did you make the oxtail?
Oh, bless her. There you go. See?
And I was like, and that's the one that we thought had speech delay.
Yeah. It's now that you say that, you're quite right, you know. Never thought about it that way because my lot went to a crash.
Yeah, you see? And sometimes you just think, okay, let me relieve some of the stress off of myself and send them somewhere. And it might shut up the naysayers.
Yeah, but is it really, you know, do they really need to be sent anywhere?
It's not
Is
worth
it
it.
really beneficial?
No, I didn't find it beneficial at all, actually. Cost me more money than anything.
Yeah, I found that when I had the boys, well, and Mirai went to thingy as well, crash as well. I mean, it's a lovely little crash where we lived, but all it was one sickness after the other. We used to just make the rounds. So it was just like
Chicken pox, meningitis.
chicken pox, it was hand, foot, and mouth, it was scarlet fever, it was the DFV, oh gosh. Everything came back into my house. Everything.
Everything. And then you have to deal with that. And then that means you have to take time out of work to deal with that.
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly. But it's all good. It's all a learning curve. It's all a learning curve.
it is. But Lexi, I would love to thank you for today.
You're very welcome. It's been a long time overdue, so
Yeah.
I'm very happy and
Yeah.
honored that been included in the first one.
First.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's Auntie Lexi.
Bye
She's
bye.
known me longer than you have. So she's more entitled to my time than you are at the moment.
Oh my days, that's not true.
The way she just gave me a side eye. Wow.
Exactly. A bombastic one as well.
Oh no, they call it the what did they say now? Narai and Aisha call it her criminal offensive side eye.
Criminally offensive side eye. Exactly.
Wow. But it is rather offensive. If looks could kill. That's how we used to say.
Oh my days.
Pen. And she always wants a pen.
Yeah, because she wants to write.
Yeah, she's always writing everywhere. No, a pen.
No.
I need it a pen. Translate for you like this. I need it a pen.
Okay. Make sure you give that young lady a pen, please. Thank you.
Got a pen and now she's got paper, so she's good.
Brilliant.
And smiling because she got what she wanted. Right, I'm going to stop this here.